Dip me underway. Fill my mouth with flow. Hold me till I scream for air to breathe. And wash me over until my well runs dry. Send all your sins all over me, baby, baby.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling? I hope all is well with you. Today we're coming with part 2 of the story time. Listen, we talking restraining orders and custody court, child. Part 2. I'm going to try to finish it out on this one. There is probably about 11 or 12 more parts, but we're going to get through it, child. We're going to get through it. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, hit that post notification bell so you're notified whenever I drop a video. Know that all things are alleged in my opinion. We're just doing this for commentary purposes. We're giving our viewpoint of this young lady's situation. So without further ado, let's get into this story time, y'all. I know y'all been on my head, okay? In the comment section, in my DMs, like, when is part 2 coming? Why'd you leave me hanging? So I got y'all. We gonna do this real quick. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna get into this story time. Let's go.
3 was way better than in. Dang. Y'all waited a long time for me to post this. So the reason why it's an instant red flag for me and I instantly like get on alert is because like we don't talk about anybody over here who's irrelevant as fuck to us at all. If when I get my kids at the beginning of my week and I ask them how was your week, if they have something to tell me, they'll tell me. If they don't, they won't. And we'll go on about our day and live our regular life. We're not worried about nobody or nothing. Just because everybody worried about me and what I got going on don't mean I give a fuck about you. Like I think people are weird and they don't understand that. Right? Anyways, so I know him asking that question is not normal because we don't talk about Lady Glitter Sparkles ever. Or anybody for that matter over there. So now they call me when they get out the car and they call me, but they like rushing and like getting out the car, right? So I go up to the school. Their school is right down the street from my house. I go up to the school and I pull them out of class, right? Because they're like, I'm something just not sitting right with me. So I'm like, let me go to the school. So I go to the school, I pull them out of class and I talk to them in the office. For the simple fact that I need someone to hear me. I need a witness, even though they didn't know they were a witness. I need a witness of what I'm asking them and what they're telling me, just in case, because I already know, like I have to protect myself, right? And my children, I have to protect us. So I get there and I'm like, what happened this morning? Like, what was going on? And that's when they told me that Lady Glitter Sparkles took them to school. And that's when she told them that basically don't answer the phone for your mom because all she wants to do is fight. And she's going to be mad if she knows that I gave you guys breakfast.
What?
I said, do y'all think I would be mad that someone fed y'all? They're
Right.
like, no. When do I fight? When someone messes with us? Right. And then she told us, don't tell nobody about this conversation.
I do not trust people who tell kids not to tell grown-ups certain things. You already put me on your radar at that moment because if you weren't doing anything wrong, your ass wouldn't be telling them kids not to say nothing. There's no reason why you should be telling a kid to keep something a secret unless it's a daggone surprise party. And I wouldn't trust them with that information. So in essence, there should be nothing that you're telling a child not to, especially tell their parents. You're teaching them to lie. You're teaching them bad habits. And this chick is just the worst. Oh my gosh. You're creating a narrative of them or trying to create a narrative of their mother in their heads. And then you're saying, but don't tell them I told you this. You know you wrong. Oh, see, I would have put them paws on her. I would have put them paws all the way up and through her. up one end and out the other. Okay.
Did she? And I'm like, okay. So they're in school. My daughter's shaking, telling me this, right? And so they have to go to school. It's not my week, right? So I tell them, it's okay. Just go to school. It's gonna be good, right? So I talk to him. I leave. I instantly drive to the courthouse. I go straight to the courthouse. And as I'm getting up there, I'm calling their daddy. I'm calling him because, oh, what the fuck you got going on? So I'm calling. He finally answered. And I'm like, I'm at this courthouse, so either you're going to have a conversation with me or I'm about to go in here and we're going to be back in court because I'm not fucking playing. And he's like, what are you talking about? What? Now, he don't know what's going on, okay? So I'm pissed off because don't ever tell my kids. Don't ever tell my kids not to tell their mama something. Don't ever tell my kids to keep no secret from me. But luckily, since I'm a good mother, I've been telling my kids for years. If somebody ever tells you not to tell your mama something, they're doing something wrong and you need to tell me immediately. My kids know that.
Did I not just say that? See, we on the same wavelength because that is weird that you would tell a child that. And I can't help but believe that you would do that, like her, as far as a Lady Glitter Sparkle. You're creating this narrative to not tell their mom stuff so you can continue to perpetuate this bad narrative of their mom in peace. And then on top of that, you want to be able to be like, see, she did this and she did that, or she's this person or she's that person, to try to like warp their minds into believing the lies she tells. These people, and it happens especially with kids. Kids are easily manipulated, but that is actually the definition of trauma bonding. Someone who they put you through some type of trauma, emotional abuse, and then they gain your loyalty by way of that abuse. And I think people always kind of think it has to be something extreme, but I think there's lower levels of it, and I think this is one of them.
Oh, thank God that they have a good mother, right? So they're gonna tell. One thing my kids are going to do, they gonna tell on you, right? So I'm on the phone with their daddy. Mind y'all, I got this restraining order, so I did not have to talk, and I just needed the narrative to not be me. Now I'm not bothering you, so it shouldn't be no problem, right? Because you got a restraining order. I can't talk to you. I can't do nothing. You would think that I was texting this man. She found messages like, oh my God, I want my family back. Like, oh my God, nothing. I don't even understand what is going on. So me and him get on the phone. And after, like, I finally calm down because I'm pissed. Because he's really confused. Mind y'all, this whole time, I'm having in my mind, like, he does not know what's going on. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt if he does not know what's going on. So me and him on the phone. This is the 5-hour conversation that me and him had. And we on the phone, and he kept saying on the phone, it's just me and you on the phone. It's just me and you on the phone. And I you know why he's saying that? I bet you could guess why he's saying that. So then I'm like, I don't care. He's like, I haven't even talked to you. It hurt my feelings when the kids told me that you said you didn't know my phone number. It hurt my feelings when you was calling the police on me in front of these kids, in front of my kids. What are you talking about? Then he's like, you keep saying it had, they were going through it too. It had nothing to do with them. It had everything to do with you. You were calling the police in front of me. I said, then you got her kids telling my kids I'm going to go to jail. He's like, man, come on, man. They're kids. I don't give a fuck. Why do you think that your kids should listen to this? This is what you're telling me. That they should listen to this. Right? So I'm like, you need to talk to your kids. Basically, the whole conversation, I'm telling him, like, you know, we did not have these problems. You know why I don't like her. You know the reason. You know I didn't like her before y'all even got married. You know that, and you know the reason. She used to pray for our relationship, Destiny. She really was praying for us. She wanted us to be together. She was rooting for us. You don't have to be strong. We all know you're strong. You don't have to act like that. Like, bro, everything you're saying, like, you tried to take my kids from me. I never tried to take your kids from you. What are you? Yes, you did. Like, I don't care what you're talking about. Now he's on the phone like, I want to be your friend. Destiny, I want to be your friend. And I'm like, I don't like you. I will never be your friend. I will never be your friend. You went too far. You tried to take my kids and there's no coming back from that. Like, I don't, but mind you, as I'm on the phone, I'm screenshotting how long we're on the phone. Screenshotting it. Because I know the stranger like the back of my hand. Like I told him, you don't like confrontation and all of this is your fault. Then he told me on this phone call, she didn't even say that the kids are ghetto and they're not being raised right. I said, well, who said it? Because you should have been on the same type of energy I was on. Because these your kids, and I know you heard it. I said, so who said it then if it wasn't her? He goes, it doesn't matter. And if it wasn't her, why would you let all of this go on for this long and not say nothing? Why would you let her get a fake restraining order? Because this is what all this is about. You never called me that day like that wasn't her. It's a bit of misunderstanding. You never said none of that. So you want me to believe now that she didn't say it? It took you a year to say that? Go to hell. Go to hell. So, right. So now we're in this conversation. So now he's like, you don't think the kids don't like her because of you? And I'm like, no, I don't think the kids. I'm like, no, I don't think they don't like her because of me. But you should talk to him and have a conversation because you haven't had one with him. Now, you have not had one. You need to talk to them and have a conversation. I said, and I pray to God that it's me. I pray that they don't like her because of me. Because if that's the case, that's the easy fix. I could correct that. I could correct myself in what I'm doing. Because mind you, I'm asking people like, am I giving off bitter baby mama energy? Oh my God. Like, am I? Like, what am I doing for this narrative to still be here? Like, and everybody fucking confused at this point because now it's just too much. So I'm like, you need to talk to him. So now he's like, I'm going to talk to him. I said, okay. He's like, hey, do you want to be on the phone? Do you want to be on the phone? Yeah, I do want to be on the phone. I'm going to call you when I go pick him up from school. Cool. Whatever. We on the phone for that time. He just wanted to be my friend. I think at one point, he accidentally called me babe on the phone. Like, I would never mistakenly call you babe, I promise. I would never. What's going on? This is why the girl don't like me. What you got going on over there? So now he goes and picks my kids up from school. I'm on mute. They don't even know I'm on the phone. And he goes, and my cousin is on the phone. I have her on three-way too. And he goes, do you guys like her? And my daughter goes, she starts crying. It took her like 10 minutes to even say anything. He's like, be strong, Journey. I need you to not cry. Da, da, da. And she goes, no. And he goes, why? And she goes, because every time I come back, she tells me that I look bigger. And he goes, did she only express this to you one time? And she goes, no, she said it like 3. So now your daughter's telling you that this bitch over there calling her fat. So what are you going to do about it? Because I told him, if it's me, I could fix that. But if your kids sincerely do not like your wife because of what's going on and what she's causing and what y'all are doing to their mother, what are you going to do? Because that's a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow. And a lot of damage has been caused in these last couple years. And you don't know nothing else going on. Because then she also told him in the same breath, I don't say nothing to you because I think you're going to tell her. Not your kids don't trust you.
That's crazy. First off, that your kids don't trust you. Your kids feel like you're more loyal to her, your wife, than you are to them. And in a normal situation, I wouldn't even say that's okay. Your kids should always be protected. Your kids should always feel like they can go to their parents to tell them what's going on, if nobody else. If they don't feel protected telling you guys, who you think they're going to tell? Who they going to tell? Why do they feel, and it's clear that they see that your loyalty lies with her, because why else would they feel that way? And then for this broad to be saying that stuff to the little girl, off with her head. Off with her head. Yo, why is she still walking? That is crazy. How disrespectful. Oh my gosh. These poor babies. First off, y'all heard her say it took 10 minutes for her to calm herself down from crying to even utter a word. That should be enough for you to be like, that's enough. That's it. We could talk about it when you're ready, but I'm cutting off ties with this broad. What the hell is she doing to you that got you crying like this? And it's clearly not their loyalty to their mother. It's what she's actually doing to these kids.
My personal favorite. I only got married because I didn't want to be a boyfriend. Mind you, I'm listening to everything he got to say. Gathering information, just gathering it. Because that one statement let me know you didn't think about your kids one fucking time like I knew. All that statement did was justify everything that I've been thinking. You only got married because you didn't want to be a boyfriend? First of all, that's embarrassing. Dang. This all happened March 12th, their dad's week. Okay, so I only talked to them at the school, right? But I talked to him and he said he was going to address it. That's all I want. Address it. Fix the shit. I shouldn't have to go to court for you to tell your wife to treat your kids fucking right. Like, what the fuck is going on? All I want is for my kids to be treated right so I can have a peace of mind too. You get a peace of mind because you know there's nothing going on over here when they're here, but I don't get that. I have to worry about my kids because you have a weirdo who's mistreating your kids around, right? So the kids come home the next week and now I'm talking to them and now they're telling me everything that was said. Because mind you, I only talked to them in the school. So now they're telling me everything that was said. Me and their dad had a conversation. I'm thinking we on the same page. I could communicate with you what your kids is telling me and all these other things, right? So when they get home, I ended up posting this. Why any bitch in their right mind would get my kids in the car, isolated away from their father, to tell them to make sure that they don't tell anybody what was talked about. Rule number fucking 1. Don't ever tell my kids not to tell anybody anything, because I've taught my kids that when somebody tells you don't tell your mama something, that means they're doing something fucking wrong. But all that's established, why the fuck in your right mind? Because now I'm talking to you. You got a problem? Let me know. Why in the fuck in your right mind would you tell my kids that you they stepmom and you not going nowhere? Do you not know that this they daddy and they not going nowhere? Why in your right fucking mind would you tell my kids that they mama only wants to take them away from their dad and don't want them to be happy at his house? Why in the fuck in your right mind would you tell my kids that I would be mad if you bought them breakfast before school and you're going to buy them breakfast before school, but make sure you don't tell nobody? Why in your right fucking mind would you tell my kids only tell your dad? Because you got they daddy over there in the motherfucking sunken place. Bitch, I'ma tell they daddy. Because I'm not scared of him or you or nobody over there. To any weird motherfucker that know that this shit going on with my kids and y'all over there condoning it and smiling in a weird bitch face, you a weirdo too. Stop playing with my fucking kids. Y'all don't stand on shit when it come to my kids, and I don't like that, but they mama gonna stand 10 toes down every time, and I don't give a fuck. Now, send this to their daddy. So after I posted that, I'm like, what? Nothing was going on. I haven't talked to these people I never talked to her. Ever. Never had a conversation. Is all this happening? Why are you picking on my kids? Literally, you're picking on my kids now because I have a restraining order. So you think that that's going to stop me from whooping your ass. So I put on TikTok, if you think that a restraining order is going to stop me from whooping anybody ass behind my kids, you're mistaken. That's what I said. So then what does she do? Goes and gets her files for an extension of her restraining order because it's coming up. It's about to end. So now you think I'm stupid and everybody else is stupid that I don't see what the fuck you're doing. You're starting shit so I can beat your ass with my kids so you can get at me or do whatever you want to do, but now you're picking on my kids. And if you bully my kids, I'm going to bully you the fuck back, right? This is when my TikTok comes into play. So now they're in court bringing up all my TikTok. So she goes to restraining order court And she pulls this up. Mind you, they dad have a conversation with them about everything that's going on. And my kids let me know that she lied. She basically lied and said none of that happened, that they're lying, that let me call your grandma. And then my kids was like, their dad was like, why are you calling my grandma? She ain't got nothing to do with this. Exactly. Because she knows she dead ass fucking wrong. So now I'm like, well, was y'all grandma on the phone the whole time that y'all was in the car? They were like, no, exactly. Then she's telling my kids like, oh, I'm going to go get the footage from my car. I have cameras in my car. I have cameras. I can go to Best Buy and get the footage. Bitch, go get it. You're trying to scare my kids and manipulate my kids and try to get them to change their story. And just like my daughter said, when you tell her, I don't negotiate with kids. She not negotiating with no weird bitch. So now I call their dad. Actually, I call him and I'm telling him like, look, you need to talk to your kids because maybe if you hear what they're saying, it won't come off like I'm making the shit up like you think. So maybe you should talk to him. Y'all, this man writes me back and goes, you're a liar. My kids never said anything like that. You be lying and you're just mad that I'm married and I moved on and you need to do this. Oh, now I have a fucking problem because I'm not the liar because I'm not the one who's making the shit up. Your kids are telling me this and you know that because we had a conversation about it. So now I'm like, yo, I've never taken this man to court. Ever. I have never taken him to court. So now I'm like, you know what? I kind of like get my kids together with that, but I know I need to go to court. Like I know something has to change, but like I'm going against going to court because that's just not who I am. So I'm driving to work one day and I'm like, God, like it's just. Then I try to sign my kids up for therapy. Okay. I signed them up for therapy because they didn't want to go. So I try to sign them up for therapy and I'm telling him like, I signed them up for therapy. He's like, where's the link? Where's the link? Where's the link? Where's the link? And I'm like, he's like, you're not going to give me the link. You're taking it. First of all, you are not allowed in their fucking therapy appointment. You think that you're going to go to therapy and you're going to hear everything that's going on and how they feel because they won't tell you. So this is your only way in. So I canceled their therapy appointment because you're doing the fucking most, right? I'm not doing this. He makes him a therapy appointment. Don't tell me. So I write him and I said, the kids have an appointment. He was like, yeah, it's in person. And I said, oh, okay, I'll be there. He goes, I don't feel comfortable being around you because of the restraining order. You don't have a fucking restraining order, bro. So now we get to court for the extension of the restraining order because I knew they were going to file one. We get to court for the extension of the restraining order. On the extension of the restraining order, she comes to court with my TikTok printed out. There's my TikTok page printed out and all the comments. There's a video on my page. You can see it. Everything printed out, right? So now the judge, this judge, he's a commissioner. He's not even a judge, but biased as fuck, right? I did not like him. I barely spoke any words to him because she showed us that he's like, that could be a terrorist threat. Mind you, I'm waving a piece of paper. He don't know what the fuck this paper said. And all I said was, no piece of paper is going to stop me ever from protecting my kids. And I meant that. I'm not playing. No piece of paper will stop me from protecting my children. I don't give a fuck. That's a terrorist threat. Well, if you're not taking me to jail, I don't give a fuck about nothing you're talking about, sir. I'm so sorry. She does not care about the law. I don't give a fuck about this. So then she's like, well, my husband, and he's like, this restraining order is not for your husband. If he wants one, he needs to go obtain one for himself. So they basically extend her restraining order for 5 years. Okay? Mind you, I don't give a fuck about this bitch. So when the judge tells me I have nothing to do with family court, then he's like, she's gonna be here for 18 years. You need to get... I don't want to hear nothing the fuck you got to talk about because she's in here spinning a narrative that I give a fuck about her being married to this stranger and I don't. This is only about my fucking kids. So once he told me I have to go to family court because he had nothing to do with it, I don't got nothing to say in here. Get this bitch this restraining order for 5 years. I will see you in family court. So now I'm like, I'm going to go to family court. I'm praying one day on my way to work and I'm like, God, like, because I'm going against everything in me to go to court. Like, it's just not who I am. So one day I'm going to work and I end up telling him, like, basically this is what Journey needs for being a girl, basically. And he write me back like, and this is what she uses during that time. And he writes me back like, You don't need to tell me what she uses. I've read books when it comes to puberty on my kids, on both boys and girls. I have a mother and a grandma and a sister who could help me. But her fucking mother is telling you. So you might want to fucking listen to her. But now I know, oh, this bitch on Talking Parents arguing with me because a stranger don't even know how to spell correctly. So I know it ain't him. So once the judge told me he had nothing to do with family court, I really didn't give a fuck about the restraining order. I'll see you in family court. Where the fuck did I go? Family court. So while we're in court for the restraining order, the commissioner is telling her, she brings my TikToks out and he's like, what does this have to do with you? Like, I wouldn't even know that any of this was about you if I didn't know what was going on. Exactly. So the narrative that I can't say anybody's name or talk about anybody is fucking a lie. That's a lie. For the simple fact that I've never said anybody's names on my platform. For the simple fact that all motherfuckers do is want to call the police and tell and throw rocks and hide their hand. And I'm going to be the one to walk around your back and look for your hands. You're not going to throw rocks and hide your hands over here. The stranger wasn't even at this court date. I wasn't even going to go to this court date because I really do not give a fuck about this restraining order. The only reason why I went was because I thought he was going to be there and I thought that this would be something with my kids. But once I realized I had nothing to do with my kids, I really didn't give a fuck, right? Like I said before, because what is this about? Chat, my kids. Now I have to decide when I'm going to go to family court because I've never taken this man to court ever. I've always been the one who's gotten taken to court. But now at this point, once I realize I can't even talk to you about my daughter's hygiene, something needs to fucking change because it's too much going on. This is too much. And I had prayed and I was talking to God and I told him, whenever the time is, I will go. Give me a sign, a clear sign, and I will go. Y'all, that morning, I promise, that morning is when I got that long message telling me that books were being read on puberty. Oh yeah, I need to go. So I leave work early, I go to court, and I filed for custody. I was gonna file for full custody, but I did not. I did not file for full custody because I would never take that man kids from him because I'm not a fucking weird ass bitch, right? So I do my paperwork, I file or whatever. Let me read y'all my paperwork. This is my response to when he tried to file for full custody. And then when I went and filed for custody, I just added on to this, okay? I am seeking sole physical and legal custody for a multitude of reasons. In the last 3 years, my children have had to witness their mother be dragged through court under false allegations pertaining to my character and parenting. In addition, my children have been subjected to mental abuse and harassment at the hands of Lady Glitter Sparkles. Lady Glitter Sparkles claims to love our children, but her actions directly contradict that statement. She spews emotionally damaging statements towards them. She also continuously makes derogatory comments about me when they are within earshot. Comments like I am ghetto and I'm not raising them right. In each instance, the negative comments were unprovoked. On multiple occasions, our children have expressed that they cannot express their feelings to their father. He believes because he is the parent, whatever he says goes, and their opinion doesn't matter. His parenting philosophy does not take our children's wants or needs into account. This is concerning for their emotional well-being as well as their safety. These concerns were originally addressed in our previously family court hearing. Another significant reason I want full custody of our children is his unstable living situation. This is in before, right? When he tried to say that I was so unstable because I travel for my job. During his allotted parenting time, mind y'all, during this time, they're like, well, how long have you lived at your residence? And I said the time, and he goes, and they go, well, how have you lived? And he said like 4 different addresses in the last 3 years. Because you used to live with me, you dodo bird. So who's really unstable? Oh, okay. Y'all gotta be smarter. When they're with his grandparents, basically during school times, they were staying with his grandparents during this time. Like, so when they had school, they were sleeping at his grandparents' house and they were taking them to school. They could just sleep at home with me, you know? But I wasn't saying nothing. I was minding my business because it has nothing to do with me, right? But you want to drag me through court, so don't tell no lies about me and I won't tell truths about you. So she also stated in court, in open court, that I have nothing to do with their co-parenting. And the commissioner had to tell her, like, well, if you're a step parent, then you do have something to do with their co-parenting because you're a step parent. Goofy. Why would you even want somebody who says that about your kids around your kids, who are supposed to love your kids? But I'm crazy. I've been cordial with their father for many years without any problems. His new relationship seems to be the root of our recent co-parenting issues. We have had a court order since 2013 and revisited in 2015 to add our second child, Jace. If you drop the J from my son's name, that's her son's name. From 2015 until 2021, we had no issues in court until now. We were able to co-parent very effectively and communicate very well. It is not my intention to take my children away from their father. However, my fear is that if I don't step in now, the emotional abuse will continue until it is too late to rectify. It is my goal for my children to foster healthy relationships with the people in their lives. Instead, they have to develop the correct coping skills to deal with traumatic events like having to witness the police get called on their mother for no reason and having her children make statements such as, "Your mom is going to go to jail." What their father then instructed them to not tell me that statement was made. My children could not attend their sporting events without a spectacle being made about their mother. If I choose not to attend to avoid such conflicts, I can't imagine how my children will feel. I would like for my children to be placed in mutual territory for all extracurricular activities without their father being their coach to avoid any further situations that can put me and my children emotional and physical well-being.
And not to mention, not only her, going it ends up being like a whole spectacle, but I can't even imagine what they would tell them if she didn't show up. Like, I feel like they're doing this to make her not show up. And then if she were to kind of cave in and be like, you know what, I don't want no problems, I'm just not going to show up on the weeks that aren't mine, or whatever the case may be, they would, when I say they, mostly her, and I think he would allow it, but she would be in their ears talking about how, oh, your mother don't love you. She don't even show up to your games. Oh, why she ain't show up? And you know what I'm saying? Like, playing those mind games. And that's what I meant when I said earlier, they would be trying to play both sides and using this moment to trauma bond with the kids. They would be trying to turn them mentally against their mother. And it's sick. And it's even sicker that this poor, pathetic excuse for a father is allowing it. Nobody, and I mean nobody, should be treating your kids like that. I don't care for what reason they have. There should never be a reason. You are the first line of defense when it comes to your kids. And if, again, they don't feel protected with you, then who gonna protect them?
In harm's way, thus creating more emotional turmoil. In addition, she has expressed that she wishes to be my children's only mother. This statement is quite concerning after evidence has shown that she wants nothing to do with my children. She is trying to tarnish my reputation in the community and turn my children against me. Ever since she threatened to tase me, my children are terrified that something bad is going to happen to their mother. Our children do not have a say in being in the presence of a bully, but I will do my best to fight for them. Our daughter has become anxious at her sporting events because her father is allowing his wife to run a false narrative. Since we were in court in 2022, everything has been running smoothly. We have communicated openly with no issues. I have even helped him during times he was unable to take our children to school. Journey, Jace, and I can no longer be subjected to the emotional immaturity that is causing so much anxiety amongst us all. I would like to take this time to focus on my children's well-being and mental health in order to make sure that they are mentally and emotionally prepared to be productive members in society. This will be impossible having someone who doesn't care about them emotionally 2 weeks out of the month. Again, I do not want to keep our children away from their father, as I do believe wholeheartedly that he cares and loves our children. I am open to this as a temporary change that we can revisit. I want for our children to have a parent who chooses them first emotionally and does what is best for them and their well-being. I have presented facts that have proven that their father does not know how or just simply won't set the boundaries needed. He has not learned the balance in being a husband and a father, and my children are suffering tremendously. Have no ill feelings towards the father of my children or his wife. I just need to do what is in best interest of our children and their well-being at this time. This is the best interest of our children because they need a safe space to work through such traumatic times in their life.
She did that. She wrote that up perfectly.
So while we're in court for the restraining order, the commissioner is telling, that was my response to them trying to take them from me in 2023. Now I'm going to court to file. All I did was add on to that response. Okay, so let's get into this part. I brought forth these concerns last year in 2023. And now here we are in 2024, and the emotional abuse has only worsened. I am trying to protect my children to the best of my ability, and when I reach out to the courts with serious matters, it is brushed off and it is putting my children in harm's way. On 3/12/2024, my children were dropped off at school by Lady Glitter Sparkles, who has constantly shown emotional abuse towards them when their father is not present. During the school drop-off, my children were told a multitude of things, which the conversation started off with, "Do not tell your mother." Actually, don't tell anybody this conversation ever happened. This concerns me because safe adults do not tell children to keep secrets from anybody, especially their mother. She filled our children's head with lies, saying I was trying to keep them away from their father, that their mother did not want to see them happy, and that their mother did not want her to take care of them nor feed them breakfast. Also, that they could not answer the phone for me unless they were out of the car because I was going to get upset and angry. The manipulation happening is very concerning to me, and as this is the critical time during the development of a child's mind. When I brought forth these concerns to their father, he immediately denied them and accused them of being false and stated he did not believe any of them. This is concerning to me because our children have stated to him that they do not feel comfortable expressing themselves to him because they fear he will go back and share this information with his wife, creating a wedge between their relationship, which their father also stated on the phone with me that he does not spend the amount of time he should because he works so many jobs. After last year, when I asked to not have our children in her presence alone and the courts didn't take my allegation serious and wrote me off, my son had to be rushed to the hospital for having a hole in his lip. He was left with her by himself. During that conversation, their father told me...
Wait, what? Oh, baby.
He was playing. But when speaking to our son, he stated, "Actually, mommy, I was just sitting down and I got pushed." I would like for our children's voices to be heard because they are being controlled and manipulated to fit a narrative that is all a lie, and the truth needs to be heard. If not, I'm in fear for the childhood trauma that will be caused. There has already been insecurities placed on my daughter from her father's wife expressing to her on multiple occasions that journey has gotten bigger from the last time she's seen her. In other words, calling her fat. Mind you, it's week on, week off. Our children should have only received more love. The alienation, manipulation, and emotional abuse is a sign that the love is being withheld and has been removed. They deserve so much better. I'm asking the courts to take all of these matters very seriously. With the rise of mental health, depression, and anxiety, our children should not be subjected to a step parent as a bully every other week. The emotional abuse is starting to take a toll. We are all suffering for the likeliness of a marriage that does not have our children's best interest at heart. And with all the denying and pointing fingers, it saddens me to see that their father does not trust what they say. We are supposed to protect our children, and when they bring concerns forth, they should not be called liars. It's an unsettling feeling. I should not have to worry about my children's well-being. I would like to have my request granted until my children finish therapy and the therapist can see what's really going on. I only want our children to be protected. Their mental, emotional, and physical well-being is my only concern and has been my only concern. That's my response to all of that. He responds to me with the domestic violence restraining order that he includes my children on and full custody. Didn't you just say you wasn't trying to take my kids?
And it's like, for what? It's one thing if she actually was a bad mother, but at the very most, okay, y'all go back and forth. That's still not grounds to take that child from, or the children from her. Like, this is petty. And then for you to file a DV case to try to get full custody, like, he knows that if they grant the protective order for him and the kids, it would be grounds for him to get full custody. He's a piece of work. Some people, I know she wished she would have never had kids by him. I'm not saying she, wishes her kids were gone, but this dude is a piece of work. And I will say, I don't agree with the fact that she took them out of therapy because he was being extra, whatever the case may be. I don't know if I comprehend the whole concept behind what was going on with that, but I would have left them or let them still go to the session. Forget what he wants or what he's demanding. Let them kids get what they need. Forget him.
So before we can even do anything, I filed an ex parte. And I filed an ex parte just because I needed to be seen sooner. Like, I needed a sooner court date, right? So I filed an ex parte. It got denied. When I go downstairs to get the paperwork, I see my tattoo artist. And I'm talking to him and I haven't seen him. And I'm like, what you doing here? And we talking and I'm like, oh, and I'm telling him, he's like, oh, there he go right there. He's like, he broke his neck to look over here to see who he was talking to. And I'm talking to him and that's when he tells me like, I said, what you doing here? He was like, oh, I'm just running these papers. You know, his wife is a paralegal for family law. Look how God works. Look how God aligns everything. Because I completely forgot. But before we can even go to court for my family court order, I have to now fight these domestic violence charges that he has against me. So now I'm in court fighting this DV. Mind you, he's filing a domestic violence and I have not talked to him in a year. That was my response. So when we went to court, the judge told her he does not have a restraining order, like I've been saying, which is why he's now filing a domestic violence restraining order. Because if you had one, why are you filing one? Okay? I'm going to just read y'all some of the stuff that he wrote in the custody, though. This is the custody. Then I'm going to read the domestic violence ones. But these are the custody. So I'm going to read some of them. They wrote 18 paragraphs about me. And in 18 of these paragraphs, he's mentioning his wife. And what did I say in my 2-page paper? This is for the likeliness of your marriage. All of this is about, I'm going to read y'all some stuff. Let me see. Oh, Destiny's wish is for my wife to not take our children to school or for her to be on their emergency card. All of which I believe a spouse should be able to do during my parenting time as support of me and out of love for Journey and Jace. I am asking the court to explain to Destiny what legal rights a spouse has. So moving forward, even when Destiny marries, she understands what rights her future husband has in terms of being of support to her and Journey and Jace. I had a boyfriend who was picking our kids up from school and taking them sometimes. Did we have any of the issues that you had when your wife was taking them to school or picking them up? Answer down in the chat below. Oh, okay. This one got me. I'm just reading this right now. I need y'all to understand that. I skimmed through this because I don't give a fuck. Once I start seeing, and then I start seeing the picture that this was all about his wife, this is about my kids. Destiny and my wife have never officially or peacefully met in person due to Destiny expressing the hate she has for my wife because of the status she holds in the community and the relationship that her and I have. My wife has been a social media influencer since 2014. She also comes from a well-rounded family filled with law enforcement, lawyers, educators, healthcare professionals, and former current D1 athletes. So they are very well known. The only form of direct communication has been Destiny direct. Like, what the fuck does she have to do with my kids? This is family court. Who gives a fuck? I don't even know her. I don't know nobody from the city y'all live in because I'm from Vegas. Duh. As Journey and Jay's father is that Destiny is ordered to go to therapy to work through her trauma in hopes that she will stop taking things out on innocent people around her. In my heart, I truly do wish my children can be with me full time while she seeks help for her mental health so my children don't have to be subjected to any more than they have already by their mom. You see what happens when you assume and you make a fucking ass out of yourself? How do you know I'm not in therapy? You don't know me. You ain't talked to me in a year. So let's get into the domestic violence because that's what he just think. I'm just reading this right now. I promise I just read it online. Reasons for denial of some or all of the orders requested on Form DV-100. 3/17/21, incidents removed in time. Incident on 4/22/24 does not provide facts indicating abuse. The 6/3/2023 incident, it was discussed in court as being a matter of civil court. So it was denied before we even got started. I didn't even know that. I wish I would have read it because I got to read this and then we're going to get into that. So this is his domestic violence. I couldn't believe that he put my babies on there. Why would you add my kids on there? Okay. Let's get into it. Let's start off by saying this domestic violence order says that I'm 5'5" and 200 pounds. First of all, bitch, put some respect on my name. I lost weight, 30 pounds to be exact. I was 174 pounds sitting at 5'3", baby. Real thick, thicker than a Snicker. You feel me? So, here we go. Did the person in 2 cause any emotional or physical harm? She caused fear, emotional distress, and anxiousness for Journey, Jace, and I. Destiny told Journey and Jace she was attending court when she dropped them off at school. On this date, when I picked them up, the kids asked, "Did you go to court today? I won't be mad if you win." She told me. I'm guessing she's speaking of Journey. Destiny told them we would be in court on this date. I don't know why people are acting like my kids are slow and they don't know what's going on. You don't think they've seen the police get called on me multiple times? They
think the kids are slow because they slow. That's the thing. When you operate in a certain manner, you think everyone else is operating like that. So people who always talk about people doing stuff and all of this stuff, 9 times out of 10, it's because they're the ones really doing it. It's like a Jedi mind trick. They think because they do certain things or they think a certain way that everyone must be thinking and doing those things. No. They think them kids slow because they slow.
Seen me get served. They've seen, y'all told them I was going to jail. And you're mad I'm telling them that I'm going to court and that I'm okay and my mind is right? Slower than I thought. Journey and Jace instantly seemed depressed, overwhelmed, and anxious. Destiny messaged me this night via Talking Parents stating that I was not included in a restraining order that was approved earlier this morning, which I am, and stated, if you want a restraining order, go file one for yourself. But again, I don't give a fuck. This put me in a state of fear. How many times has this person abused you like this? Over 50 times. You probably got cussed out over 500 fucking times, if we're being honest. Did this person cause you any emotional or physical harm? Emotional harm to myself, my grandparents, and my wife. Anxiety and fear. Y'all have not talked to, she's had a restraining order for a year. What fear does she protected? Well protected. Y'all have not talked to me. Everybody was blocked. So how am I causing? Are y'all okay? Ho, is you cool?
They not okay. And they not cool. I noticed. So that's the thing with Destiny. Because she's kind of like 100 with hers, they use that to their benefit. So I had something similar happen to me where I'ma own my ish. Yeah, I'ma say it, like that's just how I am, right? So when you do that, they're able to use that against you because you're keeping it a stack. You're like, why lie? But in this situation, you gotta learn how to kind of move. Because these people, they grimy, and especially because the kids are behind it. Like, it's one thing if it was just you or whatever the case may be, but nah, you got to move smart with these suckers.
This is a restraining order request for 2024. I'm about to read you this. I told y'all about this already 15 videos ago, but let's get into it. This is what the 2024 restraining order says. Destiny somehow tracked my location to my grandparents' house. My wife and I were visiting. When it was time to leave, Destiny drove in their complex and blocked my wife's vehicle so we couldn't leave. Destiny was extremely disgruntled and angry. She gave death threats, such as wanting to kill. I told y'all the story. This is under I tell the truth. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. This is what's being submitted. The lies, y'all see the lies.
But see, that's like I was just saying, because you've acknowledged some of the other stuff that you've done, and you kind of keep it a stack when it comes to it. Like, yeah, I did it. They'll use that to try to get people to believe you did worse. Now, you will have some people who are like, well, I believe it, just because they've seen the stuff you've admitted to doing or saying. And then you'll have those who think, in my opinion, critically, like, well, if she's admitting to doing this, why wouldn't she admit to doing that if that's what she actually did? That's how I think, at least.
Lying on me forever. Then they said that they want a restraining order because when my kids are at McDonald's eating breakfast down the street from my house because he can't take them to school, so his grandparents take them to school and they eat at breakfast before they go to school in the morning. And one day I went through the drive-thru and I had to comb my daughter's hair in the morning. One day. But we're not mentioning that in this, huh? We didn't mention that I had to come up there to comb her hair one day, huh? Okay. But I went up there and they were there and I called her, come outside. I haven't seen them. They're with their dad for a week. Why wouldn't I speak to them? I'm getting me a coffee. I went through the drive-thru. Pulled up to the drive-thru. My daughter came out and said, hi, Mom, have a good day. Give her a hug. My son didn't want to come out. I don't care. You want to hear? My son refused. And when Journey came back in, they said her demeanor changed. Go to fucking hell. Describe the abuse to you or your children. Emotional, mental, and physical. I probably wouldn't have gave a fuck if it was just for him, but the fact that you put my children on here because you know that it'll affect our custody, which is what the judge said, I have a problem with that.
I would too. It's all manipulation. They bank on lying and hoping that people will believe their lies, but people like that don't ever prosper. Ever.
And now I'm gonna fight. Mind you, they're all on my TikTok at this time, right? I can't post nothing. They are on it. And then it says, Destiny said in a text to me, you do know what I'm capable of saying or doing because I'm not afraid to tell you. She then goes on to tell me to look out for her social media post about it. Basically, I'm not scared to say any fucking thing I want to say to you. I've said it. So you going around with this narrative that you're scared of me, I'm a loose cannon, you don't know what I'm going to do to you, is a lie. Because you do know what I'm going to do. Because I'm going to tell you before I do it. Oh, wait, there's more. Then he says, she has cursed out my mother and grandmother on multiple occasions. So my fear is that she is also capable of snapping and unaliving or seriously injuring one of us, including my bonus sons who have been subjected to this abuse as well. He needs to go to jail for the lies that he has told in this paperwork, under oath, under penalty of perjury. He needs to be locked up. Send him with Diddy. So when we went to court, I interrupt the story time to tell y'all, when I tell y'all that no caller ID is calling me, stop telling me you can silence no caller ID now. I want to see him crash out like I am. I interrupt the story time to tell y'all, when I tell y'all that no caller ID is calling. So we go to the first court date, okay? So at this first court date, it's really just her setting the trial for the DV and she was like, are you going to respond? And I'm like, no, I'm not responding to that. Like, I have nothing to say to that. And she's like, are you sure? So then, but I did decide to respond to what he said. And I basically said in my response, like, nothing has happened in the last year since they had this restraining order. Everything he is talking about has happened prior to and has already been addressed in court already. All of this evidence has been brought forth and seen by a judge already, right? So that's what my response basically said. So now we're in court and we're seeing the judge. So this is the first time we're seeing the judge, right? And basically she's saying that we have to get to the DV before we can even get to the custody. So we have to first, she's like, did you guys serve each other, right? And he's like, he served me. And I'm like, well, I tried to serve him, but when I asked him for his email address, he told me that he didn't feel safe having it. And then he was like, well, she has my address. And I said, Your Honor, I think he's forgetting that last year he asked you to make his address confidential. So there is no address on this paperwork. So she goes, write down your address and give it to her. So he's not just, she's like, you need to have him served, this, that, and the third, right? So then, so now we're just going through, and then now we're going through to set a date because we're really not seeing anything but setting a date for the trial. So she goes and she asks, like, do you want to do this date? And he's like, I can't do that date. And I'm like, yes. And then so now she's like, okay, well, can you do this date? He's like, okay, like, how do you want an emergency, but you can't do none of the dates that she's giving you? But that's not my business. So we get the date set. So before we're about to leave, I'm like, well, Your Honor, I did serve him. I did email him to the last known email address I was aware of. And I told him the email address because I know your email address, bro. And she goes, well, did you receive it? And he goes, yeah. And she goes, well, why didn't you say anything when we was talking about it? And he goes, well, you didn't ask me. She said, I don't have to ask you the question. We were having a conversation about it and you never said you received it. So I said, well, Your Honor, so do I still have to serve him? She goes, no, he stated on record that he received it. I'll take that as notice of service. And then so now we're about to leave and I said, Your Honor, can I please have my children please be interviewed? Like, and she was like, how old are your children? And I was like, they're 9 and 10. And she was like, the children will be interviewed. And I was like, thank you. Right. So now she gives us the referral to go out to make our mediation appointment. I'm in line at the mediation appointment and I'm standing at the window and the lady goes, is that your paper? Is that him right there? Like, ask me if it was the other part of the paper because there's 2 sheets. And I was like, no, that ain't him, but that's my paperwork. Because Lady Glitter Sparkle's brother and whoever the Michelin man was with him was over there with my court papers. And I was like, that's my court paper. Why is anybody coming over here to make your mediation appointment for you? Why do they have my paperwork in their hand? What do they have to do with this case? Go to mediation. I don't want to be here. I have nothing to say. I said what I said. I want my kids to be heard and they will be heard. So like, I really don't have nothing to say in mediation, right? So now we get in mediation and they're like, do you have any safety concerns? My same one is the emotional well-being. All I said was, I did not want Lady Glitter Sparkles dropping my kids off at school because when she gets them by themselves, she says things when he's not around. The emotional well-being, what I've been saying. She was like, well, what's the problem with, that's all mom is saying. He was like, well, because I'm married. She's like, this is mom. Exactly. I'm their mother. So now I'm sitting there like, she goes, wife doesn't trump mom. Somebody had to say it. I'm glad somebody said it. Because when I was saying it, she goes, wife doesn't trump mom. Somebody had to say it. I'm glad somebody said it. Because when I was saying it, I was bitter. I was crazy, right? So then I said, then she told my daughter that she looked fat. And he goes, no, she didn't. See, she's lying. She's putting stuff in her head. She never said that. She said that she looked bigger. The mediator said, well, that's not a childlike comment to make towards a child. Because as a child, that's probably how she took it. Once again, I'm not crazy. Now he's talking about how I was in a relationship and how my boyfriend took the kids to school and picked them up. I have not been in a relationship for a year. What are you talking about? You in my business. Do you have any other safety concerns? He's like, well, the law states that our boy and girls need to have 2 separate rooms. What law states that? Like, there you go, once again, worried about my household. Yeah, I have a safety concern that my children walk to school. And they go, do they walk to school? And I said, I'm not addressing that. And he was like, see, she don't want to address none of my concerns. No, because your concerns are something worried about my home, my household, how I run my parenting time. My concerns is something you should also be concerned about. Your children's mental health and well-being because they're being bullied by an adult who you decided to bring into everyone's life to cause havoc. And now we're here. So I ain't addressing that. So now in this mediation appointment, y'all, I just stopped talking because like, I'm tired of talking. I'm supposed to be going to see my dude. Like, you're wasting my time. I'm about to be in traffic. Like, I'm trying to hurry this up. Like, set a mediation appointment. I just want to set a mediation appointment. So now the lady's there and he's like, she's just so difficult. But you want to switch the schedule from week on, week off to every other day. You want more communication with the difficult person. So now the mediator is trying to get me to back down. Like, it's not good to have the kids involved. It's not good. It just seems like you're just trying to prove a point. It's not good. Like, I told her at the end of the day, you don't know what's going on. My kids need to be interviewed. Like, I don't want to hear nothing you're talking about. You can make it seem how it is, but these people do not know what's going on, and you're not going to sit here and trying to make it seem like I'm doing something bad when I know I'm protecting my kids. So they need to be interviewed. So we set the interview appointment. So then my kids got interviewed. And in my kids' report papers, my daughter basically states that she wishes that when asked about her step-parents, she just wishes that she would tell the truth and that she would only talk to her when she had permission from her dad. So now, up until this point, I have gotten everything I wanted. My kids are being interviewed. And what is this about, chat? My kids, what did I say? Their voices will be heard. I told him, this fight not gonna be like that fight. I'm not fighting how I was fighting last time. So now mediation's done. So now from mediation, we're just waiting for the court date. So now trial starts for domestic violence. Let me start off with my response to the DV, okay? And then this ain't the full response because I don't know where the rest of the papers are. I'm not about to look for it, but let me read you part of the response. Everything that he is bringing up in all his documentation other than my social media, which has absolutely nothing to do with him, happened in 2021 to 2022. Nothing new has happened. And he already brought forth all this evidence to the courts before. He has no concrete evidence as of recently for grounds to even request the DV restraining order. I have never abused our children, nor have I ever abused him. And for him to even write these false allegations in court documents is very concerning because they are all lies. I have never tried to take our children away from their father because my children deserve to have both their parents who have been there from the very beginning. But he continuously tries to take them away from me, all while spewing hateful things about my character in hopes that someone is on his side. The fact that he went so far to file a DV restraining order for himself is one thing, but to add Journey and Jace with hopes of it being granted and them not being able to see the only person who was there for them mentally and emotionally is something I cannot understand. I would like to shed some light on this situation. The attachments will show the phone log of how long him and I were on the phone on March 12, 2024, regarding the incident regarding Lady Glitter Sparkles taking our children to school and trying to turn them against their mother and alienate them from me. This happened during his parenting time, so for anyone to say I'm making things up or putting anything in my children's head is just absurd. We were on the phone for almost 6 hours, and I don't think anyone who was a victim of harassment or DV would sit with said abuser and make outgoing phone calls. I initiated the first phone call, which led us to being on the phone for 4.5 hours, which Lady Glitter Sparkles was not present for. And we talked about a multitude of things, including his relationship with our children and how it could get better because they do not express themselves to him. On this phone call, he kept expressing, "It's just you and me on the phone. It's just us." Was insinuated to me that he can now speak his true feelings and concerns since he's in private. He then called me at 15:34 so I could hear the conversation between him and our children without them knowing I was present because he was so sure that I was the problem. And on that phone call, he found out that Lady Glitter Sparkles was the problem. And when he is not around, she says comments that hurts their feelings and are so far from something a child should be hearing. I expressed these concerns in Talking Parents, and he called me a liar, which equates to him calling our children liars. All of this is for the likeliness of his marriage and protecting whatever image he has of himself in his mind. They brought up my social media, which has absolutely nothing to do with him or his wife. At this point, they are harassing me. On my page, searching for my name, screen recording, printing items out, and all for what? He is so focused on proving to the courts that I'm a bad person, which is false, and that I'm a bad mother, which is false. Because he decided to marry someone who does not care for the emotional well-being of our children. I bring these problems forth because I am our children's advocate always. I said she emotionally abuses him, and there is proof of such. I have said nothing about him, but for the likeliness of his marriage, he decides to go against his children and what's best for them and lies in court and on documents. These false allegations just furthermore support my concern that our children are being emotionally and mentally neglected and their father does not have the mental capacity to take on the role as a father and a husband. I put in there that he does not call them when they're with me. So how are you saying that I'm abusing them, but you're not doing anything to check on them? Oh, okay. So boom, we in the courtroom. It's just me and him and all like 8 people came with him. So now I'm sitting there and the judge is like, Destiny, are all the witnesses out of the room? Like, to your knowledge, all the witnesses out of the room. So I look.
Not him coming with an entourage. I'll say this, Destiny be putting her pen to work when she goes to writing documents for the courts to express how she feels and what her concerns are. I'm here for all of it, every last bit of it. Because like she said in her statement, she is here to be her children's advocate forever and ever, as it should be. Unfortunately, the father didn't get that message.
I turn around and I look at everybody in their face. And I turn back around and I laugh. She goes, I know. And I'm like, I guess. So whatever. He had 2 witnesses, Lady Glitter Sparkles and his grandma. Okay. His grandma is the first witness. Okay. So he calls his grandma to the stand. He's questioning his grandma and he's like, how long has Destiny known Lady Glitter Sparkles? And the judge tells him, what is the relevance of your question? Like, what does she have to do with this case? This is for you. So then he goes, have you ever heard Destiny threaten me? Yes. How would you describe Destiny's moves over the years? Up and down. Have you helped me and Destiny over the years with our children? Yes. Were you there on the incident when, were you there for the incident when that stuff happened for the restraining order? And she goes, yes. And we were trying to calm her down and trying to talk to her and we couldn't. Nothing we said mattered. She was just going off. Have our children ever expressed to you that Destiny has said anything about harming us? Yes. How was the relationship with Journey and Jace and Lady Glitter Sparkles? And then the judge tells him again, what is the relevance of that question? Because it has nothing to do with her. This is for you. Right? So now he don't have no more questions for her. I didn't know at this time. So now I'm like, Your Honor, I object to something she said. And she's like, you have to object in real time. Enter the chat, lawyer desk. All right, here we go. Because now I know I have to object in real time. So cool. But now I get to question the grandma. So now I'm there and I'm like, when is the last time you have helped me with our kids since you guys, I was taken to court in 2022 by the stranger and he tried to take my kids from me? Well, I would say, I said, have you helped me in the last 2 years since the stranger has taken me to court and tried to take my kids from me? She goes, well, I would say yes, because in 2019, when you lived over there, I said, I didn't live over there in 2019. That's not what I said. Since 2022, when he tried to take my kids, have I asked you for help? No. At the incident at his job, after I was gone and I left and got in my car and left, did he not immediately turn and start with his brother? I don't know, because when I was in the restroom, but when I came out, there was a lot of commotion. So how were you trying to get me to stop talking? Do you talk to me on a daily basis to know what my moods are? No, you had me blocked. You only call me when you want to talk to the kids and all you say is, can I talk to the kids? You don't even say hi or anything. I said, is me not saying hi to you harassment? No, it's disrespectful. No further questions. I'm done with you. In comes Lady Glitter Sparkles. She's on the stand. He's questioning her. First question out the gate. How long have you and Destiny known each other? Objection, Your Honor. She does not know me. So the judge goes, how long have you known of her? Well, Me and him started dating in 2020, so since 2020. Have you and Destiny ever had a conversation? Objection, Your Honor. Relevance? And she's like, what's the relevance of the question? Like, that has nothing to do with you. This is about you. Again, telling him this is about you, not me and her. Has Journey or Jace ever said that Destiny threatened us to harm us? Yes, Jace has said that she was going to slap me. Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay. Sustained. I'm not about to lie on my son's name ever. Objection. So now I'm in there just objecting. I'm objecting to stuff I don't even know if I could object to. I'm just saying it. I think at one point in time, she's like, you can't object to that. I said, oh, okay. Because I'm just...
Yo, she is a fool. She said, I was objecting to everything. She said, at one point, I was objecting to something, and the judge was like, you can't object to that. Like, what are you doing? Yo, talk about a fool. She was cutting a fool up in there. And the first question out the gate, do you know Destiny? I object because she don't know me. What I would have done to be a fly in that room. Yo, the way I would have been in the back cackling, the judge would have kicked me out. The judge would have, if it happened the way she's like relaying it, which I'm sure it did, because she gives me that she's a fool wherever she's at. So I can only just imagine the people in that courtroom. They was probably rolling.
Just at this point, objection. Let me start off with my response to the DV, okay? And then, this ain't the full response because I don't know where the rest of the papers are. I'm not about to look for it. But let me read you. Here's the problem. They thought going into this court date that it was going to be like the court dates that have been happening. But I said, this ain't that. This ain't that. The way that I was fighting in 2022 and 2023 mentally ain't the fight I'm fighting in 2024 mentally. I'm in a way better space. I'm not even tired in this fight because I'm barely fighting and God is just doing all the work for me. I barely had to do anything. So she's on the stand still, right? And before she got on the stand, we're going to finish up her being on the stand, then we're going to go back to before she got on the stand, okay? And then we're going to end it with her on the stand. Y'all just got to stay with me. So while she's on the stand, she asked the judge, like, he is asking her questions and she's not understanding the question. So she's trying to get clarity to get her answer out. And she goes, can I ask you a question? The judge says, ask me a question. And she goes, yeah. She goes, no, you're a witness. You don't get to ask me questions. You get to answer questions. We don't know what a witness is now. I'm confused. You must not watch, you must not have watched Law & Order SVU growing up. So now he's asking her about the incident that happened that got her restraining order, okay? And she goes, well, when she was walking up, he stepped in front of her. And then she was trying to get over him aggressively. And then the judge said, what do you mean trying to get over him? And she was like, she was trying to like get over him. And then she was like, she like shoved him. She was being aggressive and like shoved him. And then she said that I hit him. So when she said I hit him, I didn't object to it. I just let her say it, okay? Heard Destiny threaten me. And she goes, yes, on the phone. He goes, on how many occasions? She goes, all the time. She just yells mean things. She called him a bitch. She says, fuck you. She says this and that on multiple occasions, but I don't have the dates. And she goes, so when were these conversations? She goes, I don't have the dates, but like sometime in the beginning of this year. Now, how the fuck was I talking to this man in the beginning of this year and y'all had a restraining order on me? Tell me that. Comment down below. The most important thing to know in the court date before this final court date is, and in every court date before that, is a stranger's gonna make a fool of himself every fucking time. Every time. I don't even know why they send him in there by himself. He needs a lawyer. So after he gets done asking all these questions, court's ending. So now the judge is like, Destiny, you can come back or you can ask your questions. You have like 10 minutes. And I'm like, I'll just wait. Because now that just gives me time to gather my thoughts, process everything that's happened, and get my stuff together that I need to get together. So she's like, okay, let's get a date. So she gives a date like maybe like 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out. And they're like, I can't do that. So I'm like, I can. And they're like, I can't do that. So, and he was like, I have my kids. I said, that's my week. He goes, I have other kids. Okay. So then she goes, oh, okay. So then she pushes it out 2 months because now y'all playing because you're making it seem like it's this serious, but you're playing. So now they push it out to 2 months. Okay. And she goes, can you come? And then Lady Glitter Sparkle goes, I can't come because I'm starting a new job. To the point that the judge had to tell her, I trump your job. If you're not here, there will be a warrant out for your arrest. Yeah. Not you got on the stand and said that I put my hands on him. And he never said that I put my hands on him. Oh yeah, I'm about to impeach you. Here's the problem. They thought going into this court date that it was going to be like the court dates that have been happening. But I said, this ain't that. This ain't that. Proverbs 27:15-16. A quarrelsome wife is like the dripping of a leaky roof in a rainstorm. Restraining her is like restraining the wind or grasping oil with the hand. Everybody bow your heads and close your eyes. Let's just say a prayer. Lord, I pray that all these weird bitches get their mind together. Amen. So there's a 2-month time span from June 26th when we went to court to August 22nd when we went back to court. On June 26th, that's when the judge told Lady Glitter Sparkles, if you're not here to finish your testimony, you're going to jail, right? So boom, in between that time, nothing changed. Our custody didn't change. His restraining order didn't get approved. It's just now we're going through it. So the judge is like, I just hope nothing happens. And nothing's going to happen, Your Honor. You know why? Because nothing's been happening. They're making the shit the fuck up. The only reason why we're here now is because she needed a reason to get this her restraining order extended. And since she couldn't fuck with me, she decided to fuck with my kids. In the first month, I didn't really think about it because like nothing changed in our custody agreement. Like everything stayed the same, whatever, right? So like I just wasn't thinking about it. I just started to get closer and I didn't think about it because of my mental health, okay? So I started to get closer. Now I'm starting to go through everything. Now I'm starting to replay court. Now I'm starting to think of my questions. Now I'm writing my questions down. Now it's just so much. And like, I'm just getting loaded with things. But it's like such a peace of mind because they're just coming. Oh, remember this. So now my mind, I can process clearly, right? Because I'm out of depression. I don't work well in confusion. If I'm confused, depression is near. So I need to have understanding. I need to have a clear mind of things, okay? I need to have answers. Like I need to know. I can't just go in on a whim. I need to know what the fuck is going on and when it's going on and how it's about to go on, right? So once I started to let back on understanding that like God is in control completely, it just started to ease my mind. But court is draining. Court is a mental game. Court is the most draining thing, no matter if you got a lawyer, if you don't got a lawyer, if you know what's going to happen, if people are lying on you, if anything, people will go to court, raise their right hand under oath and slide like it ain't against the law. And that confuses the fuck out of me too. But that don't got nothing to do with me, right? My grandma told me, tell your truth. I tell my kids, speak your truth. Don't lie. Just like my grandma told me, don't lie. Never. Because the truth is always going to outweigh a lie. Everything done in the dark is going to come to light. So as we're getting closer, I'm worrying, I'm stressed, I'm praying. I'm like, I'm not hearing God tell me nothing. Like, oh my God, come talk to me, come tell me. I get a call I go to the courthouse and I get the transcripts because I need to prove that this bitch is a liar. So I go to court, I get the transcripts. The guy's acting like he don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just leave. I leave. I get a call like the next day from the court. And I'm like, hello, my stomach drops. And she's like, hi, Destiny, this is so-and-so from court. I just wanted to let you know that your court has been moved to civil court. And I'm like, now I'm stressed because like, what? Like my heart drops. And then she's like, the judge got assigned to a new case, to a new department, but she's taking your case with you. God, y'all. Nothing but God, for the simple fact that I told you I don't know where this judge came from. I don't know where this judge came from. And this judge is the only judge that I've had that has been fair and has listened to me and has like not had a biased opinion on the stand or you. Like I.
Oh, Destiny, don't cry, girl. Oh, you can see it. I told y'all before. She's actively reliving it. And there's nothing worse than being honest, no matter how bad it may come off on your end. You're honest about your part, but people aren't honest about theirs. So now they're lying on you and, you know, you're being made to be the bad guy. And, you know, she took a lot of shorts. And so I know she felt gypped. She felt like that's not fair. Like I was being honest. Yeah, I did it. Wasn't right. Okay. And not to say I should be rewarded, but they adding on to it and saying I did X, Y, and Z. Like I know that stuff was a buildup and it weighed heavy on her. I hate to see her cry though. I mean, she's tough as nails, but I hate to see her cry.
I know how I am, so I know how I could get. But I know that I'm not a bad person. I have a good heart. And I don't I don't just trip on people for nothing, right? I know me. So the fact of having a judge and praying and just been fighting something that has been draining me and watching people try to break me and now see that like I'm on the fair side of things, like it was like the biggest blessing I could have received. So when I hung up the phone, all my worry left. And I was like, okay, like I just thank God because like this all I needed. This was confirmation that this is not my fight no more. Like I'm gonna be okay, right? I kept telling my kids for years, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. I promise. I don't know. I didn't know how it was gonna get better. Like, but I had to, like, all I could do is give my kids hope that we won't keep going through this. How do you give somebody hope when you don't have hope yourself? I don't know. But it got better. Let me clarify. I tried to get the transcripts. I didn't get them because the man at the window was acting slow. Okay, so boom, now we in court and Lady Glitter Sparkles is on the stand and I'm questioning her. So right out the gate, I tell her, in open court, you stated that you didn't know you met me in 2020. But you also stated that you met him in 2010 and then you guys started dating in 2014. Our daughter was born in 2013, so did you not know that his daughter had a mother? All kids have mothers. Right. Your Honor asked about my TikToks last court and said, how do you guys come across my TikToks? And the stranger said that is because I go viral. Did you not have my TikToks printed out at your court date? Objection, Your Honor. Relevance. What does that have to do with this case? The judge told her, you don't get to object on the stand. You're a witness. So you can answer her question because I did ask about the TikToks and how you guys came across them. And she goes, well, I'm a social media influencer myself. And the way that the algorithm works, when you open your phone, her video pops up. So I said, every time you open your TikTok app, the same video pops up. Mind y'all, they had my TikTok screenshot. The front page, they had comments. They're showing the videos to the judge of me saying this, right? So TikToks and everything. And she goes, how do you get them? And she goes, well, people send them to me. And she goes, well, how did you get them printed out? Well, my aunt, she's a paralegal in LA. And she goes, well, how did your aunt know what video to go to? Well, I don't know. So now the judge is confused and she's still trying to figure out, how did your aunt know what comments to highlight? I don't know. You don't know nothing to be a witness. Wait, no, not people send them to her. People walk up to her and show her my videos. And the judge was like, you don't, so they people just walk up to you and show you someone that you're saying is harassing you's videos. This whole thing is about me and my TikTok. And I don't know if it's because I have a following. I don't know what it is. But this whole thing is based off of me and my TikTok. Okay, I'm telling y'all, they're trying to silence me. So now I'm like, you stated in open court that you heard all of our phone conversations. I said, so would you say that I'm just off the hinges, or I just go off on him any day, just for any reason? She goes, yes, it doesn't matter, just anytime. I said, okay, were you present for the 5-hour phone conversation that me and the stranger had? Were you there for that? I only know what my husband tells me. So is it safe to say that there's only hostile conversations when you're around? I only know what my husband tells me. Why is it that you're the only person that has said that I put my hands on him? In open court, in the first, I said, this case has been going on for a year. In the first court case, why didn't he say that I put my hands on him? You're the only person that said that I put my hands on him. And she didn't say that. I said, Your Honor, I would like, oh no, she said he wasn't at my court date. I said, Your Honor, how do I go about impeaching this witness? And she goes, I can't give you legal advice. And I said, okay, I would like to move to impeach this witness. After she said it, he still never said it. Y'all didn't go home and talk about this? Like, yeah, you gotta say that she hit you. You gotta say this. Y'all didn't talk about it? Y'all not one band, one sound? I could tell. So let me tell y'all some of his objections as I'm questioning her. So as I'm questioning her, he's like, objection, Your Honor, relevance, because I said, you said you knew me. You didn't know me till 2020, but then you said you dated him in 2010 and 2014. So you had to have known of me because you knew he had a baby, right? And the judge said, Destiny, what's the reasoning for this? Foundation. Overruled. Answer the question. Thank you. Then at one point he said, objection, Your Honor, hearsay. She said, you brought it up. It's not hearsay because you said it. This is why you should have grew. I'm a lawyer. Before I got on the witness stand, he had brought up my TikToks, okay? And the judge said, how do you know it's Destiny posting these TikToks? And he goes, because I see her TikTok. It's her account. And she goes, how do you know it's her posting them? Do you have evidence that she's the one posting them? He goes, well, people are sharing them. They're posted on YouTube. They're posting on Instagram, they're posted everywhere. She goes, so how do you know it's her? And he's getting frustrated. And she's like, I know you're getting frustrated, but you can't just submit something into evidence and no video in the evidence and we don't know if it's her. We can watch the videos, but that does not mean that it will be submitted into evidence, right? So that's what the judge had told him about my TikToks. Now I'm on the stand. Do you know what a restraining order is? A stay away order. Do you know what a stay away order means? To stay away. Do you know that the TikToks why do you post the TikToks that you post? It's my First Amendment right. Can you explain? Freedom of speech. I can say what I want. Do you know? So then at this point, he's like, who are the people you're talking about? Because he's asking a question and the judge is like, you can't say that she's talking about you. You can get her to say that she's talking about you, but she has every right to invoke her Fifth Amendment. As soon as the judge says that, I'm like, I forgot I could plead the Fifth. Like in my mind, I'm like, I forgot I could plead the Fifth, right? So we're basically going through all the videos, which are my TikToks, okay? These are all my TikToks. This is a packet full of videos from my TikToks, okay? He has to get me to say I'm talking about him. So he goes, do you know that your TikToks can be hostile? I plead the Fifth. Who are the people you're talking about in your TikToks when you say people? People. Who are the people? People. Then now I'm like, Your Honor, we're going through them and she's going through. So then he brings up my video. Mind you, he brings up my video and I got the same outfit on that I got on in the video. So I like clutch my pearls because like, oh my God, now I'm the outfit repeater. Oh my God. So in the video, so he goes, were you, in one of my videos, I was waving a piece of paper like this, right?
What is wrong with this girl? She said, I clutched my pearls. Oh my God. Not me being an outfit repeater. Child, something wrong with Destiny.
And he was like, what were you waving? I said, a piece of paper, because this is what you see. And he was like, what did you mean by that? That a piece of paper, nothing can stop me from protecting my kids. No piece of paper could stop me from protecting my kids. That's what I said. So then he plays the video. He goes, so you're saying that you didn't have the restraining order? I said, no. And he goes, Your Honor, I have proof that she does have a video with her showing the restraining order. So then he pulls up the video. Y'all, it's the video of me showing the TikTok that she printed out of me. Oh my God. So now the judge is going through all the videos because they have to transcribe all the videos and write out everything that the video says, okay? So even in one of them, they lied and said that I said something he said. How are you going to lie and say that I said something and it's my video? All I have to do is play it in court. So they didn't even play that. So then I said, Your Honor, I object to Exhibit C because this has nothing to do with him. You took a TikTok video that said I bust my ex windows out. What do I got to do with you? Not you in my business. You in my business. So then there's a page and she goes, you have this video that says, when I'm reading it, I don't know if you have something to tell me, but it seems like she was speaking of a woman. And from the looks of it, you look like a man unless there's something you want to tell me. Basically, why are you submitting evidence that doesn't have anything to do with you, but you're still in here making it about your wife? Inquiring minds want to know, even the judge. So basically, he questioned me about my TikToks, and they're not about you. Like, that's what I've been saying, and this is only about my kids. He showed TikToks of me up there cussing and all these other things, but basically I'm saying this is about my fucking kids. Like, he showed TikTok, I said, where the fuck are we gonna be? Family court. Where are we? Family court. Mind y'all, my TikToks are getting played on the big screen. Like, it is funny as fuck to me to literally look at myself in court. Like, I really just be sitting there watching myself because I'm funny. So now I get off the stand. He gets on the stand, so now I'm questioning him. So I'm like, are you saying that I have just been this difficult person for all of these years? Yes. Were we not engaged? Your objective is I said, you've taken me to court, 10 times? No, I haven't taken you to court. I said, okay, so how many times? 5. I said, and you have been trying to portray me to be this bad person and make it seem like I'm just this loose cannon. You are a loose cannon. So now I'm like, the incident at when I took Journey and you caught the police on me. See, she's proving my point. She did take her. On this police report, it says you did not want police present. You just wanted to let them know that you were about the situation. But there was a female in the background pressing you to have police present. Who was the female? My sister. I said, so is it safe to say that you can't think for yourself and you don't have a mind of your own? When I give her the police report, the judge asked him, like, so did you not want the police there or did you? And he goes, I did want the police there. And she said, well, it's stating here you didn't. I'm reading it. So did you change your mind? Because it's saying here you didn't want police present. He said, I did want them there. Again, the judge is confused as fuck because the paper is saying you said you didn't want them there. You just wanted to let them know. I don't have that many questions for him because my only evidence is this police report and these phone logs that I have. That's it. I literally just have a screenshot of how long we were on the phone, just for how many hours. I just cut screenshot, right? So I had also asked him, were you not at, because the narrative is I'm mad that he got married, right? So I asked him, were you not, when was your wedding? And I said, when did you get married? And he goes, objection, Your Honor, relevance. And I said, foundation. And I said, and she goes, answer the question for the timeline. And he goes, August. And I said, were you not in attendance of our daughter's birthday party that I threw in October after your wedding? I don't recall. Okay, so now we get into the phone calls, because how don't you recall if you were at your daughter's birthday party? I would never, but that ain't my business. So now we get into these phone conversations, right? We on the phone for almost 6.5 hours in one day. I said, Your Honor, I called him. This is an outgoing call to him. This is the first call I called him because on March 12th, when his wife took our kids to school, and I called him, this is the first conversation we had. He goes, objection, Your Honor. She called me. She was blowing my phone up. The judge said, she testified that she called you. Right. You should listen. Then I said, and then what time do you usually pick our children up from school? And he goes, it depends. And I said, well, did you pick them up around 3:30 on this day? Because this is when you called me. And if you recall on that 4.5-hour phone conversation, we talked about you calling me and the kids not knowing I was on the phone because you said I was the problem, correct? Yes. Here's this one. I said, then, Your Honor, he called me again. Do you recall calling me again about, and I missed the call. So then I called him. And that's when we talked about the conversation he had with the kids. Then, Your Honor, he called me back and then we were on the phone for another 30 minutes. So now I submit all my evidence of the phone calls into evidence because there's no way you're going to sit here and try to paint me out to be this bad person. Like you can't talk to me. You're in fear for your life. Oh my God, I caused so much emotional stress and everything else. But you on the phone with me for 5 hours chopping it up. I want to be your friend. I want to be your friend. I think you're funny. I don't like you. I don't fuck with you. Before I got on the witness stand, he had brought up my TikToks, okay? And the judge. So now we're doing closing arguments for the DV, okay? So now I'm like, Your Honor, I understand how it looks and I probably could have handled situations a little bit better. I said, but I felt like my back was against the wall. Objection, Your Honor. I've never had her against a wall. The judge said, Destiny, did you mean that figuratively? And I said, yes. She said, that's how the courts took it. Right? So now, basically like, every situation has been a high conflict situation. I'm not just out here in an outrage and going off the hinges for no reason every day. Like that's not the case. They haven't even talked to me for a year, okay? So now she's talking to him and she's like, do you want to change your declaration? Because there's a date in here that says 2028 and that's inadmissible. You can't use that. It's a wrong date in your court documents. So she's basically trying to get him to change it. She's been helping us as much as she can because she knows we're representing ourselves. So she's been very lenient and very understanding and trying to give us what she can without giving us what I can, but we got to catch it. But you ain't going to catch it if you slow. So he goes, no, I want to keep it. So now he's talking. He's like, Your Honor, I just hope that she can stop talking on the internet and that she gets it through her head that I do not want her and to move on. Please, please, please stop saying on court record that I want you. So when he says that, the judge gets up and she goes to the back and she comes back out and she comes out with this black binder. And then this black binder, then now she's reading. And she's like reading like court cases from like previous court cases, basically saying like, you're in here for this and I can't do this. So basically she said, I can't stop Destiny from talking on her TikTok because it will be against her First Amendment right. And that's what you're asking me to do, to silence her and not allow her to speak. And that's against her First Amendment right. You have not came in here with grounds that she has done any of the things. So now she's going over what this DV is and like what would cause grounds for it to be granted and basically saying there's no grounds. Then she goes, and Lady Glitter Sparkles has changed her testimony 3 times on the stand. So her testimony is thrown out. What I said I was going to do? Impeach that bitch. So as the judge is talking, it's not hard to figure out that it's not about to go the way that he wants it to go, right? So now he's trying to submit evidence because she's basically telling him you didn't have, like, a DV, what would be grounds for it is striking, harassment, stalking, things like that. You have not provided any evidence that Destiny has done this, right? So he's trying to give the evidence that she's giving her order to the point where she had to tell him, like, you will not interrupt this court again when I'm giving my order. Like, don't interrupt me again. So now that gets thrown out, dismissed. It's not granted. Stop playing with me. I told you. This, not that. This, not what that was. So now we go into custody court. Immediately after, right? So we get to custody court. I filed for custody this time. So now I'm like, Your Honor, all I asked was for her to not take my kids to school. That's all I said. She's excluded from drop-off and pickups. Then I'm like, Your Honor, with sports, I asked him, can we, because my kids have not been in sports because they cannot play up there and he has not agreed to anything. So they've just been out of sports because Lady Glitter Sparkles, who has never been there, I don't give a damn what nobody said. I used to go. My kids have been playing sports there since they've been 3. You just started coming and my daughter is 9 and when my daughter was 9 and my son was 8. So my kids have not been in sports. So now I asked him if we could sign them up and he gonna write me back and say, you can sign them up for your week. Okay, so now I'm telling the judge, Your Honor, I asked him, can we please put in there, mind you, we already have a stipulation because he was trying to say that I would not take my son and daughter to their games and practices, which was a bold-faced lie. But y'all see, all they do is lie. So in my court order, it's already a stipulation in there that says if you can't get them to practice on your days or times, let the other parent know 3 hours before and they will get them there. That's literally what it says, but you're acting like that's not in there. So let me bring it up again in court. So now I'm telling the judge and she's like, and I'm like, I asked him and he told me to worry about my week. And she goes, well, that's not how that works. So are you going to make sure that you get them to practice? And then I said, Your Honor, I would also like to put that we go half for extracurricular activities. So she goes, Destiny is asking if y'all could go half on the cost of extracurricular activities. He goes, no. She goes, may I ask, like, why? And he goes, because if I want to put them in sports, I'll pay for it. She goes, overruled. We're going to put that you guys split the cost 50-50. Then I brought up therapy. I said, Your Honor, we were supposed to get them in therapy. I said, but when I tried to sign them up for therapy, he threw a fit. Objection, Your Honor. I don't throw fits. She said, we don't hold everything to weight. You don't have to object to everything that's not being held. We know what not to use. Basically, I have discernment. So you don't have to.
I cannot. Your Honor, I object. I don't throw fits. Dude, shut up.
Object to things like that. So I said I tried to make them an appointment, and when I made them an appointment, he wanted the link, and it wasn't even time for the appointment, so I wasn't even able to give it to him. I said, so I canceled it because he was causing, like, it was just too much, like, over an appointment. I said, so then he made an appointment, and when I asked him for the when I asked him when I said I was coming to the appointment, he then said that he was afraid for his life and that he has a restraining order that was fake because he didn't. And he canceled the appointment. And she goes, Mom will take care of therapy. Then I asked, okay, so when there's no school, we exchange the kids Sunday nights, right? So I said, and that's summers, if they're in school and there's a holiday on a Monday, like a Labor Day, instead of exchanging on Sundays, can we just keep them that Monday and take them to school Tuesday? So it's less communication because you're scared of me, remember? No, I like Sundays. The judge kept it Sunday, okay? Then I asked if we could just change the pickup because you don't have a restraining order to curbside pickup. He wants to keep it at the police station. Keep it at the police station. Like, y'all should see how fast our drop-offs are. I don't even know if we don't even see the police door. We drop them off in the parking lot. Now she's like, do you have any safety concerns? And he goes, I have a safety concern. Our kids walk to school and it's a really busy street. And she goes, Destiny, do the kids walk to school? And I said, yes, Your Honor. I said, and it is a busy street. I said, but also there's a back street that they could walk down that's not busy. And then there is a main street. There's two ways you can get to their school. But usually my kids take the back street. So they're not on the busy street. And she goes, are there other kids walking to school? He goes, no. Y'all, I live by 2 elementary schools, a middle school, and there's a high school up the street. And I live in apartments. Why would you lie like that? So she asked him, like, have you rode or walked those streets before? And he goes, yes, I used to live out there and I rode my bike and walked those streets all the time. She goes, well, if it was safe enough for you, it's safe enough for the kids. I'm going to allow you guys to parent. I don't think that mom will put her kids in harm's way. Would you, Mom? I said, no. She said, I didn't think so. And in the middle of it, she goes, you guys will never see me again. So let me know now. This is the last time you will see me. That was my confirmation from God in that courtroom. Like, he did this. Now, y'all, he's pissed. The judge is like, I can see that, you're frustrated. She was like, yeah, but we're just having a conversation. Right, because why would you complain in my face about my kids? So now, you didn't get nothing you wanted. You did all of this and you lied on my name. Now it's on court record that Lady Glitter Sparkles is a liar and got impeached off the stand. Now, all glory to God. Thank you to God. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And I suggest that y'all leave me alone. We walk out of court. Lady Glitter Sparkles is like, well, I'm happy everything went well. What went well? Were you not? I don't even know why you girls bother at this point. Like, give it up. It's me. I win and you lose. I am a lawyer. My retainer is about $1,000 an hour. Call me. So now
I cannot, not $1,000 an hour, child. She's a nut, and that dude's a bigger nut. And you could tell he was ready to throw a tantrum or a hissy fit while he talk about he don't throw tantrums. Clearly you do. Thank God for that lawyer. I mean, not the lawyer, the judge. And it was God sent. Like she was saying, when the judge was like, this is going to be the last time y'all ever see me. Is there anything else? And even for the judge to carry the case over to the civil side where she was being switched over to, it was like God put his hand over it, put his person on the case, and made sure she seen it through. Because, like she said, there's some stupid judges. I'm sorry. There's some stupid judges out here that are very biased, that are very prejudiced or, sexist or whatever the case may be. So to have someone who was fair is the least we can ask for. I mean, you're supposed to be fair. And if you have all these prejudgments on people, that's not fair. So yeah, I'm so happy for her. I know this was probably like, ooh, a weight lifted off her shoulder. To have such a good judge over the case, knowing that you will be heard. Especially, it's one thing if it's one of them cases where you don't care about like the restraining order. You can tell she didn't care. That's why she was like, yeah, and I did it. Yep, but like she was popping her little ish, whatever. But this has something to do with the kids, and that's one thing most people don't play about. Their kids.
Also, let me say this. Not one time in this story did I ever say my kids weren't happy. I said we were going through something. I was happy. We were living life. My kids were still going through something. Y'all are seeing my kids, and I ain't even posted them. You know why? To try to fit an image, because now the truth is out. My kids should have been experiencing the love that y'all are now seeing. I shouldn't have had to went through all of this. But y'all are slow. But I never said my kids weren't happy. My kids are happy because as their mother, my kids are going to be kids first. They are going to be kids, and they're going to be able to enjoy being children. I will never take that from them.
I want to know who who the wife is. Remember, she said she's a social media influencer since 2014, I think she said, or 2018, some crap. I wonder who that is. And now it seems like they're showing the kids on their social media. So I have to do some digging.
I will weather every storm and make sure they don't get wet before I allow their childhood to be stripped away by a weirdo who's being mean and malicious and evil and bullying them. You bully my kids, I'm going to bully you the fuck back. So yeah, my kids happy because now they don't got to deal with that shit. You know why? Because they mama stood 10 toes. If it ain't about my kids, I don't give a fuck what nobody over there got to say. Because I guarantee you do y'all see any videos being made? Y'all see people private messaging y'all like weirdos. You can't understand weird. The end. Now don't piss me off, because I will go back to court and put that my kids can't be posted on social media. Try me. Also, let me say this. Roses are red, violets are blue. Now come tell all these people I'm lying, because I wasn't even talking to you. But you inserted yourself into this. And when I say you, who could I be talking about? I ain't never said no names. You insert yourself, you're speculating. That's a dangerous game. I said don't play with my kids. That goes for anybody. I don't care who you are. Behind them, I'll catch a body. Leave me alone. I'm healing, I'm not healed. I'm God's favorite. But I will still get in the field. I will read my Bible and I will pray to the Most High, and then I will open my eyes and cuss you out. I don't be having nothing but time. Thank y'all for listening to my story. It was very healing for me. They really tried to paint me out to be this monster. This is the first time I opened my eyes to see. But I got through the darkest times of my life. Big ups to my family. We reaching for the sky. Where I go, y'all go with me. I pray the blessings come down. I always told God, I only want miracles to rain down. Y'all know I play a lot. So start snapping y'all fingers. I end this with a story. I really got bars for real. I just freestyled that for y'all. Anyways, like honestly, all jokes aside, wasn't shit funny when I was going through all that. Like, you know, I did get through it all. Glory to God. I thank God. I don't care if anybody says if I'm the problem. Think what you want. I don't give a fuck. Don't play with my kids. That's all I said. And if you do, good luck. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed my story time. I pray that I could be on the yacht one day in Spain, kicking back, telling y'all stories on islands. I pray that my brand deals start pouring in, and I pray that one of these airlines decide to sponsor me, and one of these hotels decide, you know what, she been through a lot and she do need a trip. And Rihanna sent me some Savage Fenty and some Fenty Beauty. All the makeup companies send me some makeup. I'm going to give y'all a makeup tutorial too. We're moving on from this. This is done. Thank y'all for coming with me. It was very healing for me. I cried. Thank y'all. I was very vulnerable. Y'all know I do not care. Aries gang. We the shit. She's the problem. A fire don't start itself, baby. Roses are...
It makes complete sense that she's an Aries. When I tell you Aries be some firecrackers, I know this because my best friend is one. Child, I am not surprised, but I'm glad everything worked itself out. The truth was made, put out there. The judge made her whole in the sense of making sure her kids were straight. Therapy was on her. A lot of the things she asked for, she got. And it was just, it ended up all working out for the good, the better and the betterment of the children. So I'm glad. Eventually, that's the thing, when you lie, eventually it always comes out. Eventually, the truth will show itself. And they just show their hands by way of lying in court. Because again, like she said, now this is documented proof that you guys have a vengeance out against me. And she could probably take it honestly to court to get that restraining order off of her. But I don't think she cares. Something in me tells me she could give two flying you know what. So yeah, this is the story time. This is the end of the story time. Y'all let me know what y'all think of all of this in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Listen, I like chocolate girl, all shades, different flavors. She a diamond and a pearl. She got us with a mentor, yeah. Cinnamon swirl. She relate to what I've been through, yeah. Queen of my world.